I thought my neighbor was digging in his garden at night. Then I saw what was really happening. It started at 2:48 a.m. The sound of shoveling echoed through the quiet street, waking me from a dead sleep. At first, I thought it was some stray animal rustling around, but when I looked outside, there was my neighbor, Mrs. Jennings, digging a hole in her garden. It didn't seem like a big deal. She's always been a bit eccentric, planting strange flowers and arranging rocks in patterns that didn't make much sense. But at 3 a.m.? What are you doing? I mumbled to myself, rubbing my eyes. I thought about going back to bed, but the sound of the shovel clanging against the dirt kept me wide awake. I stared through the blinds, watching her dig with a kind of frenzied energy, like she was in a race against time. After a few minutes, she stepped back and looked down at the hole. Something about the way she was standing, so stiff and rigid, made my skin crawl. But it wasn't until she disappeared into the house and came back carrying something heavy that my heart started to pound. It was a black garbage bag. The kind you use for yard waste. Only this one wasn't full of leaves. I squinted, trying to get a better look as she dragged it to the hole. It wasn't until she tipped the bag over that I saw something roll out, a shape. A lump, about the size of a person. I froze, my mind trying to make sense of what I was seeing. No way. No way that was what I thought it was. I blinked, but it didn't disappear. Mrs. Jennings was covering the lump with dirt, shoveling as fast as she could, her breath visible in the cold night air. I backed away from the window, my hands shaking. Should I call the police? No, maybe I was overreacting. It could have been a mannequin. She had that weird scarecrow in her garden last Halloween, after all. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I crawled back into bed, but sleep didn't come. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that shape, that black bag, rolling into the hole. The next morning, I walked past her house on my way to work, pretending to check my phone. The garden looked normal, freshly dug, but nothing unusual. No signs of whatever I thought I saw the night before. But as I got closer, something caught my eye. Sticking out of the dirt, barely noticeable, was the edge of a shoe. A small, red shoe. I stopped, my heart racing. I wanted to run, to get as far away as possible, but my legs felt frozen to the spot. Mrs. Jennings was in her kitchen window, watching me. She smiled.